Hey, good morning, Drive Time. Welcome back. As always, I'm Dave Drum, and today I am joined by Eric Stratman. Eric, as some of you guys know, is aside from just being a physical specimen of what a man can look like, he is also the founder of PHAT Dad Health Ministries. And when you look at Eric, you might be like, fat what? But he's going to tell you a little bit more about PHAT Dad as we go along. Eric, thanks for being here. Welcome back to Drive Time.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to be back. Yeah, definitely an amazing introduction. And thank you for all the hard work you do with this every single week. You're a blessing to this ministry and all the guys that are listening in. But yeah, PHAT Dad. I was the PHAT Dad before we started PHAT Dad, the PHAT Dad. So we had the great opportunity to come on stage and do the CrossFit series and talk about it. And as we talked a little bit off camera, that, people have that perception that if somebody's fit or healthy, that's just how it is, or that's their genes. And as we are all wonderfully and beautifully made in God's image, it's up to us to steward that gift of health that, he's bestowed on us and to take advantage of it. But, as life went on and, kids started to come into our life, I just started, sitting back and doing the dad thing. And here I am with my son. He's about 1 and I'm pushing 260 pounds and, really having the spare tire going and really seeing how lethargic I became and really got out of fitness as a whole. And it wasn't a priority. And then realizing that this isn't honoring my family. This isn't honoring God and what he's given me. It's not about the vanity side. It's about, let's be the healthiest version of ourselves.
So, and that's awesome that you can talk about that, because I think so many times guys do, and women too, you'll see somebody be like, oh, the skinny guy's talking about losing weight and being healthy, or, oh, you shouldn't eat the fries with the Coke and the burger and you just assume like, oh, well, he's got to be some kind of fanatic, instead of, for those of you who follow Drive Time, like our thing is 1% better each week. We look for those tangible takeaways each week to share with you guys. And it's about getting 1% better, making a decision, making a choice, doing one thing to just get 1% better. And, it cracks me up. You're wearing the shirt because it's perfect. It's 1% doesn't seem like much until you're at the end of a year and you realize just how much you've improved. And I think anyone who's ever been involved in whether it be athletics or business, if you're operating at an elite level, then like if you're 1% better than your competition, you're probably blowing them out of the water. And it's a mentality with that 1% better, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head there. But what does our society do, or where are we at? We're 100% or zero. I always encourage people to think about consistently average trumps seldom perfection, because if it's prayer life, if it is time with your family, if it is your health, it's always thinking, well, if I don't do it perfect, I'm a failure, and then I'm just not going to do it, that way. And when we can approach anything in our life with that 1% attitude that Drive Time promotes, that, PHAT Dad promotes, it's a big pressure reliever and stress reliever to go, okay, man, 1%, that's it. When you look at a weight loss goal and somebody's like, well, man, I really need to get 30 or 40 pounds off. Well, if I said, hey, Dave, I want you to lose just over a half a pound a week, man, that doesn't sound very daunting, but at the end of the year, guess what that is? 37 pounds. That's 1% of a pound, or 1/10 of a pound a day is that weight. But it's not even thinking about what that is. It's that habit change of saying, what's my 1%? Is it, drinking 1% more water? Is it 1%, better total calories? Is it 1% effort in my exercise of that 5-minute longer walk a day, or going to the gym and lifting weights for 15 minutes. I mean, whatever that is, it's taking it where you are and building that 1%. It's that one brick at a time that builds the church, right? It doesn't just poof, it's there, right?
Right. So, well, then let's rather than talking about the conceptual, we're guys, we want to know how. So, right. To a guy who's watching this, who, and you had kind of alluded to this a little bit, I might be sitting here thinking, well, man, today I'm just slam packed with stuff. I don't have time to go to the gym for an hour. By the time I get there, work out, cool off, come home, take a shower. It's 2 hours out of my life. I don't have 2 hours, so I'm just not going to do anything. Do all of our workouts need to consume 2 hours of our life?
No, I think it should be 3 hours.
Perfect.
No, I'm just totally kidding. And I said I was having a conversation right before we got on this call with one of the guys I'm working with. And it really starts with, man, can you go for a 10 or 15 minute walk a day? Don't say you can't wake up, because you can pray during that walk. I mean, let's stack priorities, right? You're doing an audio devotional, you're listening to Drive Time, it's a 10, 12, 15 minute walk. And that's where it can start, because so much happens during that, because as God designed us, there's a reason that when we exercise and the hormones that are released and how we feel and how we perceive life, how we handle problems, how we deal with stress, how we are around our family or at work, it just makes all the difference. But yeah, 15 minutes at your house, there's no travel time, just do it. If you're doing a little YouTube video or, workouts you're assigned, that it's all home based. Obviously through Rona, we all learned how to work out at home for a little bit. And I know you're a big proponent of, doing it at home. And if anybody's killing it at home, it's you. So we've got to do a follow-up of Workout with Dave Day. Maybe we'll have to have like a weekly episode there.
Well, so, and that's, I'll be honest, like for me, it was, starting that home-based stuff. It was, when I started working at home, a lot of it was geared around the fact that I could come home. I didn't have to try and find someone to watch my kids, or didn't have to rely on a gym that had a daycare area or anything. There's definitely a portion of when I walk in the door and I'm tired from work, it's just easier not to. But for me, I try to get my exercise in pretty much as soon as I get home. I change clothes and try to jump straight into it, because if I stop that momentum of my day, it's gone. So that's where I, like you said, stacking priorities. Well, my occupation is a priority, it's what, puts food on the table, but that other priority of being healthy or trying to attain a level of health and fitness is all circled around that idea of, if I've got to stack those priorities, well, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I can slow down and wind down from the day. And, there's nothing wrong with sitting on the couch and watching some TV, especially when you've accomplished, your prayer time, your work time, your fitness time, your family time. And at the end of the day, to just go, that's not a bad thing.
No, and I'm glad you talked about that, because reward system is huge. When you're doing something and you're saying, these are my priorities, let me check these off first, not, Netflix or, whatever YouTube or whatever you're into. It's use that as a reward around what you're doing, or, again, stacking priorities. You want to, listen to that or watch that, you have a bike in the garage or do something, or that's when you go to the gym, you set your phone on the bike and you stack those priorities. So it really makes it a big difference. And talking with you over many, many months, and knowing that, if you're dealing with an injury, how that impacts you, because if you're not able to exercise, how we are mentally, how we are physically and spiritually, and being in that position. But until you experience it on a regular basis, it's not something that goes, you're obsessed with this. It's going, no, this is what we're intended to do. If God, made us hunter gatherers, we're not hunting but for a remote and gathering something out of the fridge. It's not really the physical, being that God put us on this earth to be. So we've got to do something physical all the time in order to maintain our health. And then what we're putting in, are we focused on, are we eating to live or living to eat? It's not just saying I got to have snack time all the time. It's like your body needs food. It needs a certain amount of energy. And me over anybody likes burgers and fries and pizza and cookies and all that. And there's a place for it. You can have it. It's not black or white. There's that gray. It's just like our walk here, right? No perfect people allowed. So it's not saying you can't ever sin if you want to be a part of CapeMEN or Cape Christian. We're going to sin every day. It's just going to happen. Just like, so approaching the focus of our prayer life or our health around that premise, understanding that I don't have to be perfect, just stay consistently average, have a plan and execute on that and reevaluate it, and just keep that your priority.
All right. So as we finish up, as I like to ask all of our guests on Drive Time, it really centers around what's the tangible this week. We can say do something, but give us one or two ideas that maybe a guy who hasn't exercised in, whether it's months or years, that they can do to step into, to start shifting that mindset to where they start to pursue this as a lifestyle. What are your thoughts? Where do we start?
We talked about the walking or 15 minutes of something. I know some people are like, I got to have a gym. Fine. Just make it that, block out that 15 minutes, make it happen, and do something very slowly. I always talk about doing something cardio based, whether that's bike or swimming. Swimming's amazing. Walking, you're on a treadmill, you're on elliptical, doing something just to get active, because after a week of doing that daily, all of a sudden everything else kicks in, and then you want to accomplish more, and just taking it super slow and then being aware of what you're eating, because we talk about that 1% better every day, right? It is such an impact when 70 to 80% of our health is determined by what we put in. So being aware of that, tracking it, just see how many calories you eat a day, and then try to put yourself in a position to eat around what your body needs, not just always what we crave. Gotcha.
All right, gentlemen, that's a great starting point for a lot of us. And if you've got questions, if you have, a concern medically, I would definitely encourage you to seek a physician's advice if you're in that part or that stage of life. But if you just need some guidance, Eric's one of these guys that is available. His ministry, his occupation, his profession is helping people get better, both physically, spiritually, mentally, and just improving. So Eric's information will be in the link associated with this video. Touch base with him, or find a guy that who is living a healthy life, and just guys, we can help each other. We can help each other, grow in these areas. And that's part of the accountability. So actually, and just real quick, you mentioned FAT Dad that you used to be. For the people who aren't familiar with it, what does PHAT Dad stand for? So it's PHAT, the fat, the cool, you guys that are a little, maybe mine and Drum's age there, but the, PHAT is prayerful, honorable, accountable, and tenacious. So you apply that, and it allows you to realize that, man, what I'm doing with my health, with my spirituality, with my mental state is going to be so much better when you put that acronym to work. Awesome. All right, guys. Eric, thank you for being here. Thank you for spending time with us again today. And gentlemen, hey, tomorrow's a new day and a new opportunity to get 1% better. Have a great week. We'll see you on Monday.